you'll be. Now, to be effective, you want to have a nice straight, or you can sit down on your bottom, sit deep into the saddle as you're going on, especially on into canter or sitting trot, to be sitting deep in the saddle. You know, that's where you're going to be most effective as a rider. And I've had lessons from other people, and Carl Hester's been a great help over the years. Carl Hester, to me, sits absolutely beautifully, and I think it's quite good through the different phases, dressage, show jumping, and cross country. Watch riders you really admire, and try and copy them. Riders that are successful, that you really admire. They're being successful because they're obviously doing it correctly, and start wobbling your hands or nodding your head or tipping a bit forward or lifting your heels up, that sort of thing. So make sure, go through your body, think, is my head straight, is my back nice and straight, am I sitting down on my bottom, not leaning forward, and absorbing the movement through my body, are my heels down, are my legs still, so spend some time on yourself. Because the better you sit, the more effective you'll be as a rider. And then going on, to the other phases, each phase I'll have, somebody like, for the show jumping, for me you've got there's Ben Mayer, who's awesome, and I've had, lots of great riders. I mean, these days, William Fox-Pitt, to me, is fantastic. I copes, with such full body, but he still can remain soft and quiet and was effective. Michael warmed up a bit, and then I would start, always just run through the bread and butter work and the transitions, especially at the lower levels, these tests, if you can ride very correct true transitions at the markers, you're three-quarters of the way of obtaining a very good dressage score. So I would work on transitions, whether I'm working on baby horses, where you're trying to teach them to trot on and canter on, maintaining a good outline, and the same in downward transitions, making sure that they're sensitive from your leg in the transitions and they maintain a good outline. Also then, I work through the transitions, with the advanced, all the horses, even the trot walk transitions. So, you can see your horses stay in a nice outline. Yours there, Minister, you could just have him a little bit rounder before you ask him to trot on. So when he trotted on, he would trot on more over his back. So if you just come back to walk and do another transition, so making sure trots go just a little bit rounder at walk, a little bit more on the bit. That's it. Vibrate the fingers a little bit and keep them in front of your leg at walk, and then after the transition. Okay, that's a bit better. Well done. Good. Okay, let's see Morgan. So nice walk trot transition. Okay, very good. Well done. His head staying nicely down. Look quite secure in the contact. And you have to be very strict with yourselves as riders. The horses, they don't know. They're reliant on us to teach them what's right and what's wrong. And you as a rider, you have to make it very clear to them what, black and white, what's right, what's wrong, what you accept and what is not acceptable. So you mustn't be lazy as a rider, and 1 minute, say if you're trotting along and they go into canter and they lift their head up, it's very easy to think, oh, never mind, next time I'll do a good transition. Well, that's no good for your horse. You have to be very consistent at insisting on a correct transition each time, and then picking them up if they make a mistake, and rewarding them when they do something well. So all the time, black and white, what's right and what's wrong. And that's how a horse will really learn. Right, so both of you, that's it, well done, Melissa, because you trotted on, you could feel your horse go a little bit against the rein, lift up his head, so you very correctly came back to walk, get him nice and round, in fact extra round before you ask for the transition. Even to the extent of being a little bit overbent, but just to make it quite clear that you want him to trot on forward over his back. Good, okay, well done. Once you've got the transitions, quite nicely established, set yourself little tasks. sort of, say, trotting on and then come back to walk, say for 5 strides. Yep, okay, nearly 6, but no, that wasn't too bad at all. Well done. So now, Morgan, because he's such a good loose mover, you need to really work at keeping those hind legs active. As he grows up, he needs to learn to get those hind legs a bit quicker, a bit more underneath him, so that he'll be able to go on and perform the more advanced movements easily because his hind leg is underneath him. Stay really with it, really stepping forward underneath him. Good, okay. And then go transition back to walk. Think of, if he starts pulling a bit against the rein, when you close your hands, just kick him forward, that's better, kick him up. Kick him a little bit with your legs to keep his hind legs active. So just watch that with him, because he is a nice big loose moving horse, he could easily end up sort of taking advantage and just pulling a bit on the rein as he comes into the down. Look, keep his head nice and down, come around, nicely down. Yeah, come back to walk again. Don't let him get quick, because it's that sort of thing that you letting him canter on, and then next time say you canter from trot. So get the trot going nice and forward, get him on the bit, get him nicely round, then after a canter transition. Okay, now what I want you to do, get the canter going. I want you to, both of you to, as you go up the long side, I want you to slightly move forward into a little bit more of a medium canter. Then when you turn onto a smaller circle, say about 10-15 metre circle. So I'm wanting to see you open up their bodies. So I want to see a little bit of a difference, a nice forward medium canter. Good, and then bring your shoulders back, Morgan, at the end. Yeah, and then turn onto the circle, quite a small circle. Right, a bit more forward, Melissa, forward. Good. Okay, sit down on the back of your bottom, Melissa. You're leaning forward a bit, slightly bouncing all the time. Sit up really straight, bring your shoulders back. Good, Morgan, well done. And then a little bit sit back, then, okay, close your hands on your reins, but make sure you keep your little tap-tap with your legs to keep those hind legs active, especially when they're young and they're a little bit more open to come back, step under with their hind leg to come back to a more engaged canter on the circle. So a bit more forward now, Melissa. That's it. And then back to a more collected canter. Whoops. Now there, what happened there, Melissa, you're a little bit lost with the positioning. Make sure you really position him, as in keep that right bend, even though you're going up a straight line. Make sure you maintain a little bit of right connection through his body, a slight little bend in front of you, so he's more likely to stay in the true canter. Okay, Morgan, if you were a minute. One small circle, right, turn. And then again up the next long side, let's see you open your horse's stride up a bit more, Melissa, so there's a real difference. Stride, as in halfway between the horse's canter stride. And that's it, so he goes nicely over it. Good, Morgan. Nicely over it. It makes no big deal. It just canters over it as though it's really actually a normal canter stride. Doesn't make it, doesn't jump it. So keep those two poles so they feel a bit smooth. And really concentrate on the pole as a rider to see a good stride to the pole. Okay? And it's more difficult, it's really difficult canting over poles to be easy, but it's not that easy to be able. Good. Keep in the middle of the pose all the time. Then once you've got 3 curls feeling smooth, you can start then adding the 4th curl. Beware of the stride pattern between each pose. Think about how many strides your horse is doing, and you'll find maybe one segment is a little bit longer than another segment, so you get a feel as to whether you need to ride that segment with a slightly more open stride, and then whether you need to ride the next segment with a more closed stride, so you can ride a nice even stride pattern. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Awesome. Right.